Hi, I'm Sarah Cowgill, along with Andrew Moran, Jeff Charles, Jim Fight, and Graham Noble. And this is the Conservative 5, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. Well, folks, it seems we are in for a surprise. Question is, will it be pleasant? Mr. Moran, what have you cooked up for us today on Just for Fun?
Hello, I am your host, Andrew Moran, and please welcome to the debut of a new game show that makes you ask, huh? What? In other words, it's called the Joe Biden Spectacular. The rules are simple. We give you a quote and you pick one of two people, person A or person B. If you get stuck, you can seek a lifeline from yours truly, who will do an impersonation of that individual's voice. But before we get to some festivities, just a few developments in the news. Households are still baffled by their utility bills despite falling energy prices. A couple was in the press the other day because they opened their electricity bill and water bill, and they were shocked by the amount. But in all seriousness, folks, President Joe Biden is dismayed 1 year later that Afghanistan is in shambles. Truly, he is. The word is that he and his team are negotiating with the Taliban on devising a constitution. Reportedly, Biden wants to give the Taliban the U.S. Constitution, telling them, hey, we don't seem to be using it anymore, so you can have it. And finally, President Biden made it in the news because he missed the tax filing deadline. Truly, it turns out that he was sleeping so long that he forgot. But he is catching up now, and word is that he is listing the economy as a liability on his tax return, so he gets to write it off. So now let's get to the fun and games of the Joe Biden Spectacular. Since we at Liberty Nation are a chivalrous bunch, we shall start with none other than sassy Sarah Cowgill. Sarah, when discussing the diversity in his state, who said this? Quote, you cannot go to a 7-Eleven or Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. Huh? Was this President Joe Biden or Senator Lindsey Graham?
President Joe Biden.
The answer is President Joe Biden. Ding, 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 ding. He was speaking to an Indian voter back in 2008 during a visit to Delaware, and he was saying his community was quite diverse.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
They all work at 7-Eleven for some reason.
Dang,
and for that, Sarah gets to win the 2016 Red Sox hat. There you go. So, Jeff, now, when discussing inflation, who said this? Inflation might still be transitory. What in cream and an ice cream sandwich? Who said this? Was this Minneapolis Fed Bank President Neil Kashkari or Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
Ooh.
Let's go for a lifeline.
I'm going to go with Minneapolis because AOC probably doesn't know what transitory means.
Well, yes, but...
That's exactly what I was thinking, Jeff. That would have been my exact answer to that question.
Well, the answer is Neil Kashkari. What AOC actually said was, why can't Joe Biden just cancel inflation? Graham, next. When explaining the Democrats' failure to achieve results, who said this? It's time for us to do what we have been doing. And that time is every day. Huh? What? Was this House Speaker Nancy Pelosi or Vice President Kamala Harris?
That was, without doubt, Vice President Kamala Harris.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day.
She has this wonderful way of picking her favorite word of the day and then using that word about 10 times in the space of 30 seconds. And it's wonderful.
No, you're right.
And correct. That is the correct answer. Vice President Kamala Harris. This whole panel is excellent. I love you guys. Now, James, when talking about God knows what, who said this? There's an old saying in Tennessee. I know it's in Texas, but in Tennessee that says, fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, can't fool me again. Was this former Vice President Dan Quayle or former President George W. Bush?
Oh man, you know what? I want to hear the impersonation. Let's go.
Lifeline it.
Yep.
there's an old saying in Tennessee that I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you can't fool me again."
That was George. That was Bush after listening to too much of The Who.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, we can't get fooled again."
And that is correct. It was former.
And I knew the
President
answer,
George
but I still
W.
wanted to hear
Bush.
your impersonation.
I mean, can we
wanna
just
hear
agree that
Andrew's
Kamala
impression
Harris
of
is a
every
black
person
female
he-
version of George W. Bush?
There's just
And
a lot
this
of
last
saying
one-
the same thing with absolutely no news in it.
And this last one is for the entire panel. Who famously said this? China. Who said this? And no guesses. No guesses.
China. Trump.
China now. China. You know, China.
Well, there's it. Correct. Sarah. So Sarah got it. So it's actually Sarah Cowgill got 2 answers of these questions correct. So congratulations, Sarah Cowgill, on being our winner.
I win.
And that's
I
it
get the hat.
for us today,
That's
folks.
it. You get to use hat.
But before we leave, we would like to pay tribute to the brave leftist millionaires and billionaires at Martha's Vineyard. We understand this was a humanitarian crisis that paled in comparison to what occurred in Haiti, Venezuela, or Sudan. We can only offer our thoughts and prayers to the generous, kind-hearted folks who offered food and clothing one day and then kicked them out the next day. Godspeed, friends. Godspeed.
Okay. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But, I can't even. I'm not sure anything else can be said. Thanks for hanging tough with the C5 today. Thanks, panel, and Andrew. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to surf on over to libertynation.com. Join us on the Member Zone, just $17.76 for the whole year. Special thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank Diorio. I'm Sarah Cowgill, filling in for Lisa K. Donner. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.